Oh, we already have people tuned in.
That's awesome. How many?
3 or 4. Like Amador and a couple of the other regulars.
Very cool.
Okay, yeah, we're live now. Give it a couple of minutes. It's not quite 8 o'clock yet.
Just don't sprint.
Oh yeah, right. Let
We're
me
we're good if we don't sprint. I have no
yeah,
idea.
10 minutes. I can toss you this. Just let me know. Let me know when you need it again. Oh wait, this can't be traded.
Oh God.
Oh, that's such a bummer. Oh, because I guess because it's the returning player potion. Yeah, this
Well,
bounds they're out of Omni.
we can totally sprint in Midgard. This much I know.
Yeah, I could sprint and hit. I have pots to trade. So hang on, let me run to housing. Just started. Somebody might have
Okay.
put up. Somebody might have put up. I doubt it. Possible. So hey everybody that's tuned in already. How are the sound levels? Amadora, are we all right here? Can you hear both people?
Hey everybody. We're totally having a noob moment without our end pots.
Well, I have mine, so
I'm the noob. Well, I haven't been to Alb for a long time, so I'm pretty excited about visiting. Kind of makes me nostalgic.
did you roll this character fresh for the thing, or did you have it before?
This character is from 2004. I haven't played her since about 2007, so I had to move her over and get all the stuff today.
Oh look, an improved drought of invigoration for 200 plat. Well, good thing plat is free. Let me try Omni Regen. Oh, Omni Regen. Purchases. Object.
100 plat.
Okay, I
Amazing.
think I probably bought it. We get some plat. Pop for you.
Thank you, sir.
No wonder I was so judgmental on PC last night. What was I being judgmental? I don't judge anybody.
I just want the name of the guy whose merchant has it for 200 plat, please.
Right? Well, you know what? Good on him for actually throwing a pot up on regardless of the price. Up on
I know, right?
I can't hold. Oh my god, because I have 151 plat. Are you kidding me? No way. Can I buy? Can I buy?
I'm totally going to put a house here tomorrow and sell potions.
It's terrible. All right, well, you know what? We're just gonna have to.
Not sprint.
Well, still moving at % speed.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. Oh my.
I logged my healer in here and I ran around a circle in EV for about, like 2-3 minutes screaming, yay!
Oh yeah, when the horse changes came up, I did the exact same thing. I got on a horse, I got a saddle, and just spent about 10 minutes running. Let's conjure some black.
Fashion's
Leather dye.
always a must.
Enamel. More enamel. Yeah, cloth dye. That's what I.
Feel better?
Yeah, look at that. I'm styling. All right. Let us, I suppose. All right, everybody. Welcome to.
No sprinting.
Oh yeah, wait, hang on. Let me put at 204% sorcerer speed. Welcome everybody. Welcome to podcast. It is November 5th, 8 p.m. I'm BoxyBrown, joining my co-host Pandorina. We're going to be showcasing some of the things from the new patch, namely new tower placements, the new keep locations for what used to be the portal keeps. They have been reverted to capturable keeps, but they are in the new locations, like where the portal keeps were when they first updated them. We're going to be taking you on a quick tour, talking about some of the class changes as well. We're on Alb right now, and a sorcerer and a Kabbalist. Probably be changing realms little ways through just to showcase a couple of build classes on those realms. So our first stop here is going to be Herb. Um, yeah, we're going to be taking a look at sort of where the towers go, what kind of action possibly be creating from placements themselves. So yeah, Pand, how are you feeling? How's that cabbie?
I've got my Sunday best dress on to see these new towers, and I'm really liking some of the cabbie things. I had forgotten how much fun the pets were, and just how specialized the pets are now is really awesome. I really like the fact that I can sacrifice my pet and bring all those bonuses on for myself. So I think that the class is really strong now.
Yeah, I am super into the what's the max level one? It's like 15% spell damage, I think, that stacks with everything in your template. Um, there are some really cool bonuses. I am super. I forget what some of the other ones were. One of them gives you like a defensive proc slow. I think it's like 10%. That's the new CC type, the slow that is,
The slow
stacks
is
with
going to be
root and snare
interesting.
immunity and stuff.
In Zerg Warfare, it's going to be really interesting to see how that affects the two armies or three armies clashing on a good night. I don't know how it will be an 8-man, though. Probably pretty frustrating.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it could be. I mean, it's definitely a game changer, that's for sure. I mean, just having a CC effect that lasts full power for its full duration and stacks with other similar effects like snare and slow. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Here's the so the guard tower, I believe, is in the same location, right? It's just right outside the front door. And I think
So
this is sort of the model that they've been going for, is they leave um the like front door tower kind of just smack dab right outside in the front, and then they have another tower that's farther away. In the case of Herb, I believe it's just super far north. So for two tower keeps, it's like that, and for three tower keeps, you've got two towers that are super far away. And I think the idea here, as it has been explained to me, that they want to have some sort of cool like push pull open field Zerg warfare in between towers, and I've also noticed that there are some camps of aggro mobs, like these hollow men, for example, that are in between the towers and the. So here's the second one. In between the towers and the main keeps. So that should also give just a little bit of interesting, a little bit of a fun sort of terrain obstacle, or excuse me, non-terrain obstacle. Running your group through there and you get a bunch of aggro, and the other Zerg doesn't. You might be in for problems. Um, so yeah, here's the second tower. Um, Yeah, I mean, I really like whenever sort of a tower and outpost is on elevated terrain like this, especially when you're trying to take a keep. And I mean, Pan, you have much more experiences. Um,
it's a challenge for the healers because that line of sight drops the minute your people go up or down your line of sight, so it makes it much more challenging. It's good for a fight too because then again you can jump up, jump down, kind of sidestep out of the way. But I like how the terrain is. It's going to make some really interesting fights, especially coming up this hill. It's kind of good for sneaking in too. I do see that there's a bridge right here, and that bridge could be some interesting battles as well.
oh, nice, sweet. Baven's on here. She says she's gonna throw some end pots our way. Yeah, if you can port to us and just give Pand one. I've got I have my Drought of Omni regen because I'm a big time pro player. So I'm all set, but I
What can I
think
say?
oh, look at this. This is fun. Here's a nice little glitch. It's like if I have maybe your pet regen, trying to cast on me when I've got my Omni regen up. So let me try cancel those. Yep, that did it. Okay, cool.
Wow.
All right, so yeah, it looks like that's a bug we can work out. The Sapphire Simulacrum apparently tries to casting its weird the regen buff if I have my power and health going, but as long as I keep those off, I shouldn't get that annoying.
There's a
Um,
total other solution too.
Aha, there we go. Which one was that? Is that the max level one?
No, that was a sapphire.
Ah, okay.
He's
Oh,
kind of
so
in the
wait,
middle.
is it a different effect for each different type of pet, or is it like a spell, like a different spell, the higher level spell, regardless of pet, gives you a different effect?
They each have a different effect. The Jade is the highest one. He specializes in tanking. He also will reduce physical damage of his enemies. Let's see, we've got the Emerald, which specializes in enemy harassment and will disease and snare its target. We have the Sapphire, who I had up, specializes in group support and will restore the group's health and endurance.
Nice, nice, nice.
And and then we have the Ruby. This symbol specializes in magical attacks, will weaken its target's body resistance. And then the first one in the line is the Amber, which specializes in physical offense and causes high physical damage. But he's very, very um, weak to it as well.
I really like how they've sort of changed here. You can stick up. Let's run to Herb. I mean, Renars. Um, you have sprint, right?
I do. Thanks, Carol.
You're still losing endo though. Do you need one of these roof draughts here? Oh, you got it. All right, cool.
Now it's headed again.
Um, so yeah, so what we're coming up on now is going to be one of my favorite things, the Elefort right up here. This is one of my favorite areas in the game. I used to love trolling people on my Scald. I would always get Elf action by killing the ranger mobs, and then drag them back here. And
Oh,
you've got
this
a
place
bunch
is
of like
death.
you got a bunch of like aggro purples and yellows and all right. So I don't have faction on this guy, so we'll stay away from there. But look at this. They moved a tower right next to the Elefort. I mean, this could go for some really interesting Zerg warfare. Um,
Absolutely.
you roll in there and those mobs will guess you down quick. So I am very, very, very interested in seeing what types of fights we get around here. Like maybe one realm takes the time, goes out to get faction, one realm doesn't. All of a sudden, that's a huge advantage. Just kite them back to the fort and boom. Um, so yeah, let's go check out the dock towers up here. You can see this tower here is again right outside of the front door. Um, shouldn't really be too much different there.
I like the bowl for melee down here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. And look at this. You got a big open space between that tower and the main keep. So again, there could be some really cool push-pull right there. So I am actually really liking this. I believe Renars is a no, Renars is another two-tower keep. But yeah, I am really, really, really into the two-tower keep design here. The other thing I like, we're about to roll up to the center keep in Alb, is how they have changed it so that it's no longer necessary to take all the towers to maintain port. It's just the center keep. So in the case of Albion, it's bold. Um, so yeah, we're gonna go check that out. They have a tower right by POC now, POC entrance, which for me, I love sort of how PvE and RVR interact in New Frontiers. POC is one of my favorite places to go. I check for players there, go kill some mobs, get some artifact XP, whatever needs to be done. But there's usually people being in there, nice, easy.
Oh, stealthers in there are lethal too because they are really good at coming up on you when you are the least expecting it. You'd be focused on doing something else like leveling a cloak or whatever, and boom, there they are.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, so here we go. We can see, here's the tower. POC entrance should be just a little bit farther. Yeah, I can see it right over there. POC entrance. Um, so yeah, I mean, maybe, hey, like a nice safe space. If you're camping the entrance of POC, you can just run out, run back to here, boom. Now you got a little safe spot for your tower. Should be, you have water breath, right? Another great thing that Sorks have, man.
Thank you.
Water breath, and speed. I cannot wait to see the new small main group um, group setups.
It's going to be really interesting. There's so many different diverse things that can be done now.
Yeah, and I mean it was a huge advantage that Hib had, and to a lesser extent mid, but Hib once you got a bard in the group, you were good. You had speed, you had heals, you had crowd control. Um, with mid, you had healers, you had speed, or sorry, you had heals and crowd control covered. You got Scald for speed, but Albs really needed three classes. You needed Sork, Minstrel, and Cleric or Friar or Heretic, I guess. And are Sorks getting Sojo? No, I believe they are not. they're not getting Sojourner Beacon. It's gonna be the same ML choice. I think the only ML choices that are changing are possibly Necromancer, or they might be the same. Unsure. But anyway, here's Bold. Got the Tower 1s right here. Let's head over to Box. Back in this room. I don't know
That
where I am.
bridge right there, you've got one army coming from the bridge, you've got another coming from the keep. If you're trying to take that
Oh,
tower,
right.
you can get smashed so easy.
Yeah, right, docks this way. I remember.
It's great for 3-army battle.
Yeah, I've always loved, especially just camping right here, this general area. Even on a solo visible, you can kind of just duck down right back here. Kind of
Yeah,
check and
spot.
see, you can peek out around here, see if anybody's coming. You need to make a speedy getaway, just fade back to the water here, get under there, get some cover. Or you can like pull up and down around this bridge. I like it a lot. Pretty high traffic area. Yeah, Deckers are going a Warlord and Convoker, and they're losing Stormlord. Okay, so that answers.
Yeah, Necros are a totally different thing now. It's going to be a tough class to play. You're going to have to really be on your game.
Oh yeah, the new Necromancer change is fantastic. I was messing around with them the other day, especially the Death Servant line. I mean, so a lot of classes are, or excuse me, I think it's one class per realm is getting that sort of mass call pet thing. It's the it's like the open like the gates of Thor, whatever it is for Midgard, but
Gates of Valhalla.
that's the
I
one.
can't wait
Yeah.
to try that tonight.
But the Iran's Legion spell looks really cool as well. And as I understand it, it's going to be capped. Oh, so these are the mobs you kill, in case anybody's wondering. You kill these guys in order to get friendly faction with the LL camp. So mark your realm war maps now. I think you're going to be in Renaris area around that tower. check these guys out. There are ones that are closer to Ren as well. We're heading north.
Those tags are pesky too.
Yeah.
Shoot you when you run by.
So here we're going to head up now to Bergstead. That's right. We're going to head up to Bergstead. Check out the placement for the.
I really like them when they're built up like that. It just makes making it defending. It's great for defending, but it can also be really great for sneak and attack too. You can't always see when you're looking up from the top where that army is. And if they hug those curves, if they hug those cliffs at the bottom, they're going to be almost invisible.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Getting back to Necros just for a quick second. I noticed a couple of things when I was messing around earlier. The bolt is apparently essence damage, as opposed to any other damage type. So unless you have a Sojourner class and group, you're hitting targets with no resist. It's going to be very, very, very hard hitting spell. I think I was nuking people for almost 1,200 damage with that thing. And then another thing I noticed was that power consumption seems to be a little bit off. I know you were having some.
Yes. Yeah, the power consumption on the Kabbalist was really, really high. I was surprised in the line I spec'd. So I'm kind of waiting to see what the life drain was just killer for my power.
Yeah, and you know what it was? It was the damage and snare on. Oh! Did you see that? There's a guy here. I just saw a stealther. Oh, it's Cooley. Hey, Cooley, how you doing? Forming me Camelot as a silly.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
Oh,
like
no, exciting to know the person
again.
here.
Now, what was I just saying? Oh yeah, so it's the damage and snare, and it's like a 70% snare, I think, and 199 delve on the nuke, and it costs 66 power to cast. I mean, those are like spread heal numbers, if I'm not mistaken. So you cast about 5 of those, and if you're not in that spirit form with the enhanced mana regen, you are out of power. So here is the new Berg. Ran by the southern tower earlier, but this is the front tower. Again, it sort of follows that setup that we're doing now, where there's one right outside the front door and one a little bit farther away. This one, again, there's sort of the crest of a hill in between, so you'll have some really fun battles with peeking out and getting LOS and all that stuff.
There's the aqueducts, so that's a really good place to orient from.
Yeah, so it should be very, very fun. Zerg versus Zerg fights coming out of here. So yeah, let's go head over to. Leave everything for the most part with the Ruin Keep the same. The only thing that they're changing there is that only the native realm can port there now. So even if mids take Benno, they will not be able to open. Only
So
be
it's not
ported
that far
to when.
from Taco Bell, what we all fondly call Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. It should be some really fun fights. Pretty much all over the map now. Very excited for it. The other big change I'm excited for is the EV change. Towers not being able to be ported to anymore. I think there was a little bit too much ability in terms of ports all over the map. I think curbing that is a good thing.
Oh, that's looking really great from here, just getting that visual over the bridge.
So here we are on the Ruin Keep. Pretty much exactly the same as they were. No big changes there. Press on to EV. Take a look at some of the new stuff there. Then we are going to hop on to. I guess we'll do Hib. Oh, I'm cutting out apparently.
Hib's good. You know, I still get sad when I see these as ruin keeps though, because you have that little bit of nostalgia from
yep.
when they were whole. Yeah.
I mean, as a solo player, it was great for me when that change went through. Just get more geometry to play with, more
Absolutely.
centralized action, plus people coming through doing the box quest and everything. Meant there were sort of these distracted, weaker targets that you can just kind of play into.
Those innocent level 1s and 2s. Oh, poor little rail rank 1s and 2s.
Right. Oh, that was fun. Pull right here. Yep, right there.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I'll have to fix that. That's been there for a little while.
These bridges have been a lot of fun too for the big Zerg warfare. We have a lot of battles right in the middle of these bridges.
Oh yeah, the bridgeheads, they're great.
They are.
Yeah, like I said before, I can't say that I do much large scale RVRs. I'm much more scale guy. But there's a couple things that I'm really excited about for EV. One of them is the alternate pathways. So
that should be really good for smaller groups.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. So in addition to coming from the safe port area back here, right? There's this mountain path, winding like path leads up there. We've all seen that. We've all run that. There are also, I'll have to run through the. There are also now paths that come from the safe port onto the other side of the Malga, tested area of Bellinvan. Show you one of them drops off. They designed so that you can't get up there, and I believe there are measures in place so that you can't put siege anywhere near them.
Have you been down into the keep down below too, where the OW10 is?
No, I have not yet. Who owns AM right now? So it's right up here.
I just lagged. Hold on a second.
All right.
Famous words of Midgard loop.
Right. So it's right around here, where the pathway lets off, and it's the same with the other. It's the same with the other two realms. Each one got like a safe path, so that you don't have to run through that mile gate if you don't want to. In other words, you can safe port and go on either side.
Which will be really nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Trying to catch up with the Zerg.
I know that was a big complaint too. Is when they reduced it down to the 1 mile gate, was they had problems with camping and all kinds of nonsense. So there's additionally a couple of changes to Bagain buff. Nothing too game breaking. I think the biggest one is that you're able to use it while you're inside the new keep now, underground.
Oh, thank goodness.
So no more instant dying. Friendly.
But there's no one to kill.
Exactly. Let's grab it and head on down. See if everything's.
I still think it'd be great.
What's the delve on the Necro stealth floor? I believe it's 45. Increase of 45 levels.
Here, loop around back from me. You're faster than me. It's his dress. I just don't know what to do.
Right, exactly. It's because you didn't dye it black.
You're right. It's this red thing. It's the wrong color for Sunday.
So yeah, I'm not dying. It's good. There's their aggro. Okay, I want to. Big old dwarf guy still in it. God, that's so cool. Like my favorite piece of artwork in the game.
It's beautiful down here.
Anyway, all seen this. Nothing too. So yeah, in addition to Bugains, there's another thing that is being messed with in terms of realm point bonuses, and that is the underpopulation bonus, which I am so glad they're finally putting. That's something that should have done, frankly, from if not day one, then since I guess Labyrinth, I would say.
The
Um,
players have wanted it for a long time, so I'm really excited that it's coming this patch.
um, and basically, the values are all on the Herald website. But basically, the gist of it is the more or the fewer people you have, the more of a realm point bonus you have, and it can be pretty staggering. I mean, by the time if you're ever 51 to 60%, you basically get an extra 55%. Um, so pretty hefty bonuses as far as that goes, and they stack with everything. Stack with Bugains, they'll stack with Doppelganger Heart, they'll stack with any other holiday bonuses, those kinds of things. Um, so when you log on, it'll be displayed right on the realm select screen. What the RP bonuses are at the moment. So you can say, oh man, like 25% bonus RPs on Albion. Like let me log on there and make some quick RPs, especially when 8-mans and solos, duos, small mans log on. That's going to be great for them. I'm not sure how this change is going to affect Zerberserg Warfare. Probably shed a little bit more light on
Well,
that than
actually, I
me.
can. It'll update every 15 minutes. So as the realm population shift, that will also shift as well. And it's not just New Frontiers wide; it's realm wide. So it's affected by everybody who's logged in realm wide, whether they're out in New Frontiers or not. So it's total population based. And since it shifts every 15 minutes, and sometimes the battle groups do shift if there's one side that has a ton and another one's smaller, sometimes people will shift over to kind of balance it out and make for better battles. So that every 15 minutes is going to update, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, real time updates are pretty crucial for a system like that. Um, but yeah, here we are in Midgard. Quick tour here. Did you want to log over onto the other realm?
Yeah, you want to
Off
log over to
Spirit
mid?
Master? Yeah, let's log over to Mid real quick. Um, Probably easier than just running all the way through. So we are going to. I forget what I think I spec'd my BD 50 bone. Pretty sure. They have the new pet. It's called the Dread Lord. It can interrupt Mach because it's higher than level.
I went all about the pets on my Spirit Master too, so this will be fun.
Oh yeah, I got login timer. All right, so we're gonna get a black screen in a second here. Gotta wait a minute.
I'm invincible for when you make it here.
Oh, it didn't give you the 1 minute timer?
No, it let me change realms, but when I try to go from mid to anywhere else, it won't. So
Oh, I'm getting trolled over here. Let's go ahead. Nope, still 1 minute.
so I am on my Spirit Master, and I'm really excited about the pets because it is pretty amazing. The highest one, the level 41, is a summon a Spirit Valkyrie to serve you. The spirit will use melee attacks, attempt to shear the target's buffs, as well as interrupt them at range, which is pretty awesome. It says additionally, when set to passive, the spirit will heal its master and the group. So, that's a great friend to have. And then there's the Spirit Shaman, and people who've tested it tell me that this is their favorite pet. Summons the Spirit Shaman to serve you. The spirit will root disease its target. When it's set to passive, the spirit will heal the master in their group. They said it's doing a great job with that. Might put me out of business on my main tune. I don't know. See, summon a Spirit Rune Master to serve you. Hey, Rune Master, right? I can do almost everything from this tune. This spirit specializes in long range magical attacks and also near sights the target. And it'll debuff for you as well, which is pretty awesome. Then there's the level 21 is, that was 21. Sorry about that. The next one is the level 11 summon a spirit hunter to serve you, and the hunter shows up with their pet as well, which is pretty awesome. And then the final one was the first one, a spirit warrior, and they are very durable and specialize in taking damage. So it's like you got a whole cast of friends.
Customizable. Too soon. Target me
And they're
say
even in
command.
King's gear.
Aye. Says I can target him and say commander. Totally can. Nope. Okay, cool. That's five caster pets.
You got him dressed in fashionable black. Nice.
Okay, cool. Do see this as soon as I port, I bet. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna port. Let's force up. Got endo rolling?
I do. This is one realm I can actually be prepared on.
Yeah, so I've got a Dread Lord with 5 fossil mystic pets running behind him. It's gonna be very interesting. Alright, so let us head to R. We'll head to R if we'll make that our first stop. I know there was some talk about possible questionable tower placement here. Specifically, there's combat.
Uh-oh, you didn't have your pets on passive.
Oh, I totally did have my pets on passive. I just want to see how much damage this guy does. It's like he's styling for a good amount. Wow. This. These guys can split assist too, if I'm not mistaken. I think under the Dreadlord they can split assist. That is insane. Wow.
I can't wait to respect my Spirit Master.
I think now every single sub pet for the BD is 82% of the level, right? Regardless of which pet you're using. If you're using a low level pet, it's still going to be blue con to 50s, which is a really good change. I like that a lot.
Yeah, no more itty bitty pets. That's gonna be really nice.
It's like if you want to use a lower level pet, but you don't have to worry about it getting killed in one. Got this northern tower. Yep, and I see we've got aggressive ice striders here.
Ooh.
So that could be dicey. These are the ones that cast the root too, the Frostweavers. They have a root and a cold nuke, I think. So that is going to be dicey times to run your Zerg around. But look, I mean, we're kind of getting around. Not too many problems. As long as you stay out of that forest, you'll be fine.
Stay on the roads.
Yeah, exactly. Stay on the path. Okay. It doesn't look like it's going to be too much of an issue.
I think they were between Glen and Blendrick before in the woods.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, man. I'm digging the new tower placement. I think there's going to be a lot of really cool dynamic fights. It seems to be that no realm really has an advantage when it comes to weirdly placed towers. I'll go show you my favorite tower in a bit, which is not more fast. Up here, right by the hut, like the little mountain pass area.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really hoping they keep that hut in the game. Although I absolutely see them taking it out. It would make perfect sense to do so.
Is it right up on the tower?
What's that?
Is it the one that's like right up on the tower?
Yep. So it would be, I mean, just so easy just to find, use that thing for cover. But I love that hut. I used to kite people there all the time, camping when I was camping not.
You know, it's so underused. The whole valleys and everything up there are so underused. And it's such a great area.
Yeah.
So many great places to hide and seek in there.
I mean, that's one of the issues with NF in general. There's so much space and so many cool things out here, but if it's not along the main path, nobody gets out there. So I really like how sort of the porting mechanics are changing, power placements are changing. Hopefully, we will see some of these, underutilized areas, coming more to the forefront.
Well, I think the whole placement process was to encourage engagements more and kind of ways force them in some ways because you're not just porting from place to place anymore. You're actually having to travel.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
So those
great
guys
for
down there.
for smaller groups as well, because when you have big zergs actually running from place to place, people that get disconnected are easily vultured. So it's going to be sort of a contest of who can run the most organized BG, who's got the most organized force. Um, it's going to
And
be,
I
I think,
love the
really fun,
Zergs.
really
I
dynamic.
really do. I love to 8-man. I like to small man with friends. Sometimes that's really fun. But when you first bought the game and it came in the box, it was the armies of these realms clash, and I never really got to experience that until recently when running with the Zerg, where just you have these 50 to 100 players from each side, sometimes even all three, just coming at each other. It's really a lot of fun.
Yep. I'm really looking forward
I lost
actually
my
to
horse.
seeing. I'm full. Oh goodness. I'm really looking forward to seeing on like what full darkness BDs are capable of now, because they added a snare nuke to the darkness. I think spec line. Nope, it's the spec line. They added a new DD snare to the spec line that I'm really excited for. It's a higher delve, 35% snare. But when you couple that in with the snaring pet nukes, you're gonna have some really fun plays. Being able, not
It's going
quite
to be
sure
great seeing
how.
more out playing. It really was an underplayed class. It's going to be awesome to see more out. And I know a lot of people are going to want to try these two classes now with all these big changes.
Yeah, the pet changes are some of my favorite things that come out of Dark Age Camelot in a long time. I really like how the Spirit Master has access to these pets that mirror other classes. Steer clear. Breath. That's
They're neutral.
oh really? Um, I really like that the Necro got a rework, and you don't have these clunky pet mechanics that, while they're still, pet pathing is still obviously an issue. It really was a game breaker for Necromancers. If you lost a pet as an enchanter, it was an inconvenience. Lost a pet as a necromancer, you basically dead. Um,
Absolutely. The invulnerable shade too used to make as someone from the other side fighting them made me crazy because it's like, oh, here you are again. I can't even kill you.
yep. So yeah, it was a elegant solution to a two-sided problem. I think was just
Absolutely.
the and I'd heard people call for this on the forums many times. It's nice to see the broadswords listening to their customer base and their players. The boots on the ground that are actually playing the game for hours every day. I had seen it called for many times. Have the about to lose all my pets.
Uh
Um,
oh. Pat pathing.
actually, what's the word? Have the caster is the shade, or the shade is the pet mechanic.
I
It's
love
it's
it.
it's by no means a new idea, so I'm
I
very
love
excited
it.
for that. So here we are at Glen. We have this tower here. I believe it was the dock tower that was removed, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, so
So empty.
yeah, right.
So
So
used to look right. It's
look at
usually
this.
it's right
Look at
there.
this big open area over here. You could have a really cool time just placing some siege out here. Where the tower used to be. A little bit less cover if you're trying to siege the keep. You come over here, you take the tower. Tower's not there anymore. Also, a little bit less cover for people running to the docks, which I really like as sort of a vulture player. I guess I would
Well, stealthers will
characterize
love
myself.
that
Yep,
because
exactly.
they love this spot. Let me tell you.
Stealthers, speed classes, solo vizies on horses. Anybody that can that try to be. I think this is going to cater more towards stealth because there's anywhere to hide for a solo visible.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean it's the same thing with the bold docks. Really cool terrain over there. It's a sort of a more open field, so I'm pretty excited to see what kind of things we got going on. It's gonna be an interesting few months.
A lot of stealth fights on this bridge, lots of them. This is where, hunters and shadow blades are usually going at it with all the other realm stealthers.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. I have a hunter too. I am the world's worst hunter, but I like to come out and play too.
Now let's see. I know the Pock Tower over here got moved. I'm pretty sure the one that was above the hill.
Right, because that dock is where usually people were diving off to swim. There's Puck right there. That's usually
Yeah.
the place where people made the crossing, and there was a lot of stealther camping right there.
Yep. And there was a tower up here, if I'm not mistaken. Now it is somewhere
It's up
else.
higher a little ways.
Oh, is it farther down?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway. Um. Yeah, I believe. Let's see, they. Oh, you know what? Yeah, they moved it over by the bridge. That's where it is. If I looked at my map, I would know that.
So Alb and Mid so far both have a tower that has a bridge right there.
Yeah. Is it still 1 inner and 2 outer towers? Is the question in chat. Yes, for certain keeps. So you have. I'll say here's the other tower. The idea is to have for the sort of big central keeps, one inner, 2 outer, and then for other keeps, just 1 inner, 1 outer.
Let's go up that hill real quick. I want to see if
Yeah.
there's gonna be a line of sight issue when you're when you're up there fighting, and you're on the oil level. How
Look at
easily you
this.
see?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. That's gonna be fun. This is gonna be dynamic. I can't wait for this.
So if you're attacking this keep right here, you've got a straight shot right to that oil level right there.
So 1,500 units is right where my ground target is, right up there. Let's see. So you're gonna have to be, let's see, maybe from behind here, from behind this tree. That one is. That one is inside the tower. Yep, it's right up there. I don't know if you guys can see that right here. So you will be able to hit the rampart here, the oil level from this hill, especially from this little outcropping behind the tree here. So that could be pretty fun. But it looks like if you get, yeah, actually from pretty much the entire crest of this hill, you'll be able to hit up there. That's gonna be
Are there
fun.
hills like
I
this
can't wait for
around
that.
any of their other realms towers, so that we can like do some little reciprocation there?
I would hope so.
Me too.
I think having the game be too homogenous is probably not a good thing. It's nice to have these sort of unique features, and maybe there's a comparable advantage that can be given in other realms homelands. But I really like how it's sort of like there's unique, like, hey, like this tower can be sieged from over there. That's like a unique property of it. Whereas
Well,
another
Caster
tower
will
might
love
be,
that hill.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, casters, archers, anybody who does ranged DPS. Yeah, Beav is telling me they removed that tower a long time ago. The one up above Pock, apparently. So that's just my old soul.
Yeah, I hear you. I have to hit another end pot because I'm being a noob.
Let's see. Oh, I know where we'll go. Head up to Notmore. Check out the new towers over there.
That's gonna be interesting seeing not more as a keep again, because you're so used to landing there, waking up there, getting ready to go from there. So it's gonna be really different.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to be one of the things I'm a little bummed about them removing portal keeps, and sort of redoing the safe ports into EV is that for a solo player like myself, I used to have these sort of predetermined stomping grounds of where I would camp and where I would go, and you have to stay off the beaten path enough that you're not getting zerged down constantly and being added on by 8-mans and other overzealous players. But you have to be in a populated enough route that you Ooh, you know what? I just remembered there's a tower up by Liches. It's another place I used to love to gank. Check that out. Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, they were showing me this the other day. Oh, my get aggro. Yes. Alright, we're just gonna outrun this here.
Ouch.
So yeah, we have a tower right here. This is gonna be so much fun. Hopefully this will see sort of a return to using Liches as a place to level artifacts, champ XP, that kind of thing. Maybe even PL. I think the neutral Liches are across the bridge. The ones by the water are aggro. But yeah, I used to run over here all the time, man. Places. What is the Relic Gate opening sequence now? They're asking. So, the way I understand it is that when you take the necessary keeps, you then have to also beat down the gate.
Yes.
I
And I heard
love.
there's gonna be oil at the gate too. Is that still true?
Yep,
Yes.
I think it's going to be three, cauldrons of oil that have like a 5-minute respawn, if I remember correctly.
5 minutes sounds right. And that's gonna be something really new and different because I have never been able to defend a relic gate with oil.
Yeah, so you take the keeps, you beat the gate down, go from there. So really, that just the sequence of taking a relic is going to have so much potential for having Zerg versus Zerg fights. You know, actual fights, not PvEing undefended keeps, not opening relic gates with no opposition and then just running them back. Um, like you're going to think you have to taking the necessary keeps, fights right there. Knocking down the gate, it's going to be a big fight right there. Going to the actual temple, going to be a big fight right there. I think the idea was to give time for defenders to get in place so that, people aren't just like taking a keep in 5 minutes, taking the other keep in 5 minutes. They're through the relic gate, they're going, and then boom, there's no chance to defend. Now you have to take the time to beat that gate down, and give the defending realm a chance to mount an actual defense.
Which I think would be nice. I don't get taking the undefended keys. It doesn't seem like it'd be fun for me.
I
want someone to shoot at.
I'm glad you brought that up because it's not fun. I've done that before. It's like one of the few times I've run with the I was running with our boy Herorius, and that was what we were doing. We were just going around PvEing, and I was like, man, if I wanted to PvE, I'd go play WoW. I play this game to fight people.
Absolutely.
Not trying to throw shade to the man. He's a Zerg leader. I have respect for those guys, but goodness gracious, that was boring. It's just not my style.
No, I love to attack a keep that's defended, and I love to defend a keep. To me, those are great battles, and I mean, so much can happen. It can change. It's just the drop of a hat which way the tide's going to go. It's fun. So this gives more chance, I think, than just PvEing and taking the relic and running it home and waving as you go.
Yep. We also have new relic bonuses, I believe, that we're unveiling with this patch. In addition to just the healing and damage bonus, we're doing, what is it, crafting as well? Crafting speeds?
Oh gosh, there was all kinds of stuff about it.
Hang on, let me bring it up. I've got it here on my laptop.
Yeah, because there's so much in there.
All right, give me a sec here. All right, so yeah, so they changed relics and they changed the keep ownership bonuses as well. I think the keep ownership bonuses are much more significant than they were before, but the relic bonuses are this.
You don't get them immediately. That keep has to be, you have to have, I think it's
it has to be level 5, yeah.
Right,
yep.
So you have to have it for a while. You just can't PvE that keep and knock them down like dominoes and have all those bonuses. You can actually have time to go back in there, take that keep, and keep that realm from getting that bonus.
Well, it was a huge problem with Warhammer Online. I don't know if you ever played that. It was the other Mythic MMO from after Dark Age. A huge problem they had was that the bonus for staying and defending and fighting other players was not as big as the bonus of just taking the keep. So one realm would take the keep, abandon it, the other realm would take it back, abandon it, the other realm would take it, abandon it, so on and so forth. And I mean, it was one of the things I think that contributed to the death of the game. So okay, yeah. So anyway, relic bonuses. Let me just read these off real quick. So power relics: 1 enemy relic owned, 5% spell damage healing, 15 XP BP coin craft haste. 2 enemy relics, the bonuses are doubled, so 10% damage, 10% healing, and 30% to XP BP coin and craft haste. Now with strength relics, same thing, but it's just melee damage. So melee damage, and then 15% to all those things, and then 10 melee damage, and 30% to all those things. Did you just release your pet, or did it die for some reason? Oh, okay.
I released it. I like the way she's looking at me.
Dude, the Spirit Hunter, I love this, by the way. When I was reading this in the note, it summons a pet with it. Got all kinds of bonuses. Apparently the damage on those archer pets is really good. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what exactly all of these new pets can do in RVR. Now, I have heard some interesting things about the Enchanter pets. Apparently with all the buffs they have, and I was on my Enchanter earlier today on Pen just fooling around. You can have all those enchantment buffs, the new ones, running at the same time. When I did that with my assassin pet, it was hitting for almost 1,000 damage on mobs. Now, I don't know how that translates into damage against players. I would guess 600 to 800 per round, easy. Now, granted, the assassin pet is killed pretty much in 2 nukes. I mean, if you're quick on the dime, there's really no chance to heal it. But even so, it's like, oh man, this is a little ridiculous. So I'd be very surprised if that made it to live. And I'm not sure they intended all of those enchantment buffs to be able to stack. So that's something we'll have to look into for sure. But I'm going to show you guys one of my favorite towers from this new. Actually, never run around this way, so I don't even know.
Oh, I'm just going to laugh if we don't. I'll tell you something, though. I always encourage people, go to Pendragon and test stuff out.
Yeah,
test
absolutely.
Your characters. but test the other realm stuff too, so you know what you're up against.
Yep.
Because and if there is an issue, feedback it, because that's the way they know. You can't just have the patch come out and go, well, this and that. You have to go in and try it out, feedback it, experience it. I love to try the other realm stuff so I know what I'm going to be fighting against.
So Minfu is saying he perfed for 2,500 with the enchantment of Zeal buff, and now that is on a Nightshade, ladies and gentlemen. That is not a two-handed Shadowblade putting out that number. So that is, I think, going to have to be. Oh, the hut's gone. They took the hut.
Oh, I knew they
No.
were going to take the hut, but
So
I didn't want
sad.
to
I
tell
mean, it
you.
was a good, it was a good idea. I'm glad they did. It was a little.
This has 2 hills on each side.
Yeah, look at this. This is just tucked
Let me take
away.
a look over here.
Look,
Yeah.
you can go up through these mountain passes up here. I used to like come drag people through when I was
See,
camping out more.
I can't get up this way. Let's see if I can get up this way. Nope, 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 nope. So this one, the hills here is going to protect this tower. It's not going to let me get up there and cast down on that tower, which I appreciate as a mid.
So yeah, man, you've got these sort
Set
of
the other ones
windy
up.
paths coming through here.
Right.
I'm
Same
very
thing
into
on this
this.
one.
So I think the placement for a couple of locations probably needs a little bit of work. But for the most part, man, I'm really liking what I see.
I love this valley in here. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite zones, actually, right here. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys on mid. I mean, the coastal keeps pretty much more of the same. You can sort of imagine, like you can see from the Realm War map exactly where everything is, and there's no surprises. These ones that look like they're a little bit like off the thing, they're not actually in the water, right? Obviously, but it's basically that sort of they're trying to create, I think, that sort of push-pull mechanic. The other interesting one actually is this one, Lendrake, which I guess we can run.
Yeah, it's not that far.
Before we run over to hit. I don't have any water. Actually, you know what? I do have water pots. Do you have water pots?
I do.
Nice. So yeah, this one is. Wait, is that the one by liches? Never mind. We saw that one already. Okay, yeah, never mind. We saw that.
Liches are lethal.
That one I like, but like just look how far away it is from Blend. I mean, like that's gonna take a long time to get there. That could be a pretty interesting Zerg fight, man. Just kiting people all the way back from the tower to the keep, or vice versa. Have they done any work to Chanter Pet 2? Yes, they have. And if we we can log on over to Hib. I will show you exactly what they have done. I am super into that. Let's see.
This is where I'll get a black screen for a minute, but it'll take me a minute, but I'll catch up. I
Well,
don't know Hib at all, so I'm looking forward to this tour. I
hopefully,
have just the one tour there, and it's really a beautiful realm, so I need to play there more.
yep. Yeah, so for the most part, the class changes can be viewed more or less on the Herald site. And again, like Panda, I encourage everybody to please come on out. Black screen. Oh, I'm good. All right, sweet.
I'm loading in now too. Hey.
One big thing for Chanters, similar to Sorks, and I think it was Healers on mid, we now have speed. This you right here, Elfwin?
It's me.
Right on. So Chanters now have speed 6 as well. So, I don't think Hib really needed any help throwing together small man groups, but now, I don't know. I guess it'll be you don't really need a bard anymore. I guess like you could do like a Hib Ment duo, or excuse me, Hib Ment duo, a Chanter Ment duo, I guess. Be like a thing. I don't really know what this is really gonna contribute, because bards are still really the AE measures. I mean, nobody's gonna use Eldritch Mid. Gate. So I'm in the name of equality and balance. I get it. I get why they did it. I just don't think it's really going to change anything in speed. So let's take a look at the pets, because those are the big changes. The changes that I am super into. So my favorite right now is the Stalker. The big melee damage pet. Those critical strike styles. It's got Life Bane, as you can see, on its weapons. So you've got a lot of DPS, a lot of damage coming out of this pet right here. And just look at that die scheme. I mean, it just does not get any better than that. Purple weapons, black head to toe, floating tiara. Oh yeah. So here I'm gonna run to. Seriously, I'm gonna run to the Relic Town stuff. So
I am a druid.
Oh, are you full log?
No,
Oh.
I'm mostly mad.
Aha.
So you might want to run and get that.
Yeah, I'll get the realm buff. I always run on a realm buffs anyway. I don't know if you can tell from my tune I copied over. I actually don't have an enchant live.
That's the great thing
Back.
about here is you can kind of make them a little better than they are on the live server.
Port back to Kane. The main tower that I want to show you guys is that, or excuse me, the key DDB. I'm a big fan of sort of this. There's like a clear zone wall, impassable terrain in between DDB and basically two of the towers. Um, so it is going to be very interesting to see how that keep or how that affects RVR at that coastal keep. Um, so let's go start it.
I had one. I'm 2 for 3 now.
All right, let's run up there and take a look.
Our entourage following.
Yeah, the new pet changes on these guys are really cool. I can also show you some of the enchantment buffs. I honestly forget what I bound them to, but here, faster than them. Oh, you know what? I don't have my keybind set up. Hang on. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, let's see if these can be cast on the move. They cannot. All right, but just let me show you this. So I can do all of these at the same time. All four. None of them have a recast, and it applies to everybody in the group. Blue mob, but do some of the damage. Just that. That's not with blowing any of my timers. That's not with doing any of that. Just like look how much damage that is. I can pretty much just keep these continuously applied. A couple of the casting animations I'm noticing are broken. I'll have to deal with those. That's a really cool body nuke. Oh, I like that. Sounds like a heal.
Yeah, it does.
That macros. Anywho, let's keep. Here you are at Scath. Scath is
Again,
actually
that
cool.
tower's real close right there.
Yep. So this is the front tower. The other one is literally right next to the. Um, if anybody has like run when the keep as they are taken, you know how perilous this run can be, especially if you're solo. Always, some Scald or some Shadowblade or a group of hunters or something camping right around here. And the tower, I believe, used to be over here on the right, mistaken, but now the tower is pretty much right next to the dock, which I'm a big fan of. Get a little bit of security on your run here, but not like so much that it's unreasonable. Right? Tower used to be literally right here, right next to the dock.
Now it's like right on top of it.
Yeah, I think it used to be right here, a little bit farther away, but still far enough that, or I should say, still close enough that sort of heal up and then get to the dock. Hopefully, sort of like
Catch
a
up with your
reset.
group.
Yeah, reset for a fight, catch up for your group, whatever you need. Show you guys what I mean. You have a water pot?
That I forgot.
I have one for you. take a swig of this.
Thank you.
It used to be a dual-wield pet, tank pet, heal pet, 2 caster pets. Essentially the same thing. So the zealot pet is still in the game, right? The dot interrupts every tick. The companion pet does not cast a snare nuke anymore, I don't think. Now it casts a heat nuke with a debuff, if I'm not mistaken. The compatriot, I think, is going to be the tank pet. You know, I don't think much has changed there. They kind of just updated the abilities and the sort of like resistances and all that stuff that the tank pet has. The susceptibility to damage, I guess we'll call it. Then the ally pet has the improved heals. Apparently those are pretty strong from what I've heard. I've not tested them out myself, but I've heard that they're healing for basically as much as single target spec heals anyway. And I believe it also has a couple of regen buffs. And no, it's a regen buff and a 5% resist buff that it puts on. So very, very good.
Be
Actually, you
great
know
for
what?
soloing.
I want to check something. If I summon the pet, it buffs me. I release the pet. Yep, the buff stays. Not sure if that's intended, but hey, check that out.
Nice.
Now I'm running 36% crush resist. So another thing that they did just to clean up the lines was they got rid of all the casted pet buffs. I'm pretty sure they've just sort of incorporated those stats that you would get from casting those buffs into the pets themselves. So the pets are as strong as they ever were. It's just that they've taken out like the, you know, pet only dex buff, pet only strength buff, which I always thought were
Pet
a little bit
maintenance,
annoying.
basically.
Exactly, pet maintenance. You know, just another thing you have to keep track of if you wanted to run like an enchantment enchanter, which before now there was really no reason to. Um, so I'm excited to see what kinds of groups we end up with. These changes go live. 1.121 was already shook things up quite a bit with group compositions, and I cannot wait to see. Oh, did we already pass one of the towers? Totally did. Well, sorry guys.
Yeah, this is gonna be great for people who like to solo because there are people who do enjoy that, and these little pads will just make that so much more viable for them.
And especially solo casters, which we really don't see enough of. I know Litlet has a couple of videos, some other guys do, but it's, you know, it's not often you see a solo caster who's out there to actually RVR and not so we're just sort of run, you know, be running tower quests and things like
Right.
that. Like you don't see a lot of solo casters new, or if you do, they were like, you know, flavor of the month, like pre-nerf warlocks or um, that. So I am glad you're getting some attention. Glad that group comps are changing. Glad that Alb is getting speed and CC on the same class. That is such a huge change for the small man scene. I can't even begin to express it.
Well, my
Well,
main is a
but
pack
wow.
healer, so for me, I am so thrilled because that's my speed and my CC. I'm excited. I can't wait to try it out live.
Yeah, pack. I mean, pack healers are going to be very similar to bards in a lot of respects now that they get that speed 6. It's going to be a pretty huge. So here's DDB Tower 1. It's all right where it was. Nothing changed there. But yeah, you can see that invisible wall between DDB and the is that the watchtower? The outpost. Very, very, very dicey. That's going to take a lot of circumventing just to get around that impassable terrain. I'm sure they did that on purpose. I don't know why, but just another little, you know, interesting little quirk. I don't think any realms really have. Back in the day, you see tons of solo sorks. Yeah, man. But back when you could mock and RR5 at the same time. Oh yeah, yeah. Solo sorks were big plays. Guys like Netchel. Times. All right, so that's that. We have to be careful where we go because I'm just kind of running absent-mindedly, and I'm not really looking at the realm war map. I don't know about what. It looks like Albs have taken Neged. I can show you. So, like you can already see, there's a tower, not where it used to be. Speed of sound will still be restricted to the instrument classes. Yes, it will. Yep. The RA landscape isn't really changing at all. It's just going to be, um, Necromancers, I think, that are getting access to RAs. But yeah, no, it is huge. You're absolutely right. What's going to happen to speed classes? Well, I don't know. Interesting thought. You know, minstrels are always going to be fine. They are great interrupters. They're immune to Mez and Root with their pet charm. Yeah, bards won't be affected like Beav is saying. It's not going to matter for them. It's really kind of just scalds, I think, that are getting into the shaft, and a huge problem with that is the problem of alternatives. You know, there's so many good melee classes on mid that do what scalds do better, and the only thing they had was speed. And that's why you saw a lot of 9-man groups basically on Midgard, who would just run an out of group scald, at least in the 8-man scene. Um,
We've been
so
making a lot of suggestions for scalds, and I'm hoping that some of them will get implemented soon. So that'll be kind of an interesting thing to see.
yeah.
Give feedback, folks, especially if you play a scald, because that's really valuable to the people who keep our game going for us.
So here we've got the maze tower, and now what they're actually doing is there's a tower like this by all the mazes. I forgot to show you guys the Alb one. Oh man, you know what? We should have checked out one of the coastal keeps because they took the Alb tower that was by the maze. You know, the one that was red on the water. They took that completely away. So if you're taking that boat to go check out the maze as like a solo, and there's like somebody camping right there, they do not have that safety of the tower to retreat back to. They've moved that tower somewhere else. So small change, but huge for that landscape. Huge for fighting at Alb Maze. Hib Maze, you know, tower's nice and close. Not so close to the maze that, you know, like I guess you could if you're on a charge class, charge and run away, but not so close that you can just kind of melee stun your opponent right here and get back to it for in total safety. Um, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. But I do kind of like that there are towers close, but not too close to the mid.
People leveling
Should we go?
champion levels and stuff will probably be thrilled, though, so they have a little bit of a chance to escape. Because if you're
Exactly.
out here playing sticks and boxes and that group comes through, you're just usually dead on arrival.
Yep, exactly. So you know, classes with those charge, speed of sound abilities, they'll be able to get back to relative safety. You know, other classes, hey, you know, sometimes you just have to type /release. Happens to the best of us. So there's another tower right up here. It's Crim Outpost, I guess. Yeah, this is another one that I really like the placement of. Like, look at how far away it is. Map. Should be some really fun fights in this valley, especially because you have a lot of aggro mobs on either side. There's the Levians, there's the bears. I believe there's
But you got to
leprechauns up here
dodge all
somewhere.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you want to spread, you know, not get like locked down by AoE, you've got to be really careful where you go. Um, so I think, you know, for large scale RVR, these are really good changes. Gave them those siege changes. That will help a lot. CDs for interrupts and the crescendo ability. Yeah, yeah. No, you're not wrong. I think when it comes to scalds, you really got to listen to mid players. I think anything you propose is going to sound overpowered to people that play Hib or Alb, but nobody really knows what they need and what's it gonna take for them to get into a group besides, you know, mid players. So there's that.
They do have that siege damage negation chant that's coming in that I don't know if anybody's coming to test it out yet. I have not brought my scald over to test it, but that's kind of my after work plan tomorrow to see how that works.
Yep. Yeah. So here's the front door tower again, pretty much the same as every other keep. Um, second tower is just a little bit farther away. Ooh, look, a double.
Hey.
Send my pet on this guy. Oh no, he killed me. Run away. I'm out of power. Alright, let's get the Zealot up. Let's see how the Zealot does. Oh, I don't have any.
Uh-oh.
Ah, here we go. All right, let's check out the Zealot. See how hard this dot hits. Dot is only hitting for about 15 to 20 damage. Not exactly. It's a little bit underwhelming.
Yeah, but the slow sure makes him walk funny.
Right? Check out the companion. Summon another Zealot? Oh, I already had a Zealot. Oh, so it didn't replace it. Alright, well, I'm done. Anyway, let's keep going.
I need to spend more time in this room. I'm always so lost.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite spots to camp as well. Not more. Right outside of Crim. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for Hib. As far as tower placements goes. You know, the pet changes for Enchanter I'm super stoked about. Pet changes actually across the board I'm super stoked about. The other change that I'm really excited for that I think is overdue is Vanish getting hit with a slight nerf. So taking it from Vanish 3 on a 10-minute timer down to Vanish 2 on a 15-minute timer. I think that's a pretty big deal. There were a lot of complaints about Vanish being impossible to counter. You know, the fact that it was widespread, okay, whatever. I really don't have any sympathy for that. But the fact that it was hard to counter, impossible almost, a lot of instances, was a very valid complaint. You know, if you popped a stealth floor on an assassin who had vanished on you, unless they're at 5% HP, you really had no chance of finding them. So I think this is a very good change. Vanish 2 means that there's less of that immunity, super speed boosted Vanish speed, which means they're not 2,000 units away by the time you've popped your stealth floor. So I think that's a very good change. I'm really excited for that. Let's see, what else do we have here? Touched on the heat bonuses, right?
Yes, and I can't reiterate more that I'm happy that they have to be a level 5 before they take into effect, because it's just be like knocking down dominoes otherwise. But
Yep.
this makes it have time to go back, take the keeps back, defend them, all those things bring into play, and that means more player interaction.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, so yeah, I mean, I guess we can end by pretty much just talking about Necro. I think that's the big change in this patch that everybody is really forward to and talking about. Um, yeah, man, Necromancer's completely reworked. No longer the serpent pet mechanic that they've been since their inception. It's now the fact that the caster has been shape changed and has access to a variety, like the caster itself is shape changed and has access to a variety of sub pets, kind of like BDs, enchanters, and abbeys that have these effects. There's like a healer pet, CC pet, melee pet. Um, so I really like that. It solves a lot of the issues. As far as the individual spec lines go, pain working seems to be casting sort of, dotting and nuking people down. Spec line, I think it's the, what is it, decrepit form, death sight, gives you that
Yeah.
flat 10% spell damage bonus. I think is going to be huge. Then there is the pain working spec, is the oh, and actually one more thing about death sight before I move on. It looks like Death Sight Necros, if you're 50 sight, you're going to have 2 Mastery Concentrations. The other one is Bringer of Death. It's the level 50 spell. Super powerful, gives you additional bonuses and not just being. So if we see some 50 Death Sight Necros, it should be a lot of fun. Pain Working is going to be the melee spec. You summon a big old 2-handed sword, and you get styles with like cool new effects. I think the side style is a disease style. You know, there's DDs and dots and all kinds of fun things to play around with there. So should be really fun checking that out. They also have another sort of like a whole bunch of other different spells and effects. A lot of them defensive in nature. They have a parry buff, short duration, short cooldown. I think it's 15 seconds, 5 minutes respectively. Then they have a AOM, sort of like the Cloak of Heroes charge. So it's like 50% at the max level, I think, to your secondary resists. What else do we have here? There's all the new ground spells. They're sort of like BD totems in that regard. You know, one of them slows, one of them does periodic damage, one of them is power regen, and then Death Servant spec line. Oh yeah, so actually here's a fun thing on EV.
There it
There
is.
are no more. Yep, there are no
We
more of these capturable safe zone towers. They're
we
now
call this
just
Hamburger Hill
yep.
because there were some battles here.
There
So
are
this would
now
be very
just
different.
raised towers right here. Yeah, and like we said before, the EV towers are no longer portable. Those ruin towers, no longer portable too. So yeah, I think that's a really good change as well. But then the final spec is Death Servant spec for Necromancer. That is going to be where all of your pets are. They're in the baseline, but you can't have a pet going while you're in the tank form. Only the Intrepid form, Spirit form. Spirit form also has increased mana regen, a slew of other abilities, increased ABS, those kinds of things. And you have, let's see, a couple of you have a bolt spell, damage and slow. Some really fun stuff to play around with. Necro's got a couple of instant cast spells that are really cool. Power tap, I believe, has been now changed to instant cast. There's a targeted version and I think a PBAOE version. So some nice little interrupts and damage there. Necro pets hit more consistently. The melee pets would misstyle so much. I've noticed that actually all pets are hitting more consistently in PvE anyway now. I have not tested these out on players. I'm having trouble getting people to log on to test this with. But from what I've seen, the not only are they hitting more often, but the styles are proccing more often too.
You know what I'd love to do? I'd love to just get people to commit to a night that we all log in here and test some of this out as armies. That would just be a blast.
Well, yeah, like we did with the previous patch. I mean, that was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would 100% support such an endeavor. I mean, you know, let's talk to the big alliances and put together a big testing night.
Absolutely. And it'd be cool too if we could actually talk to each other while we're doing it.
Yeah, I agree. You know, if anybody's got a big enough TeamSpeak event server, hit us up. I'm you know, BoxyBrown on postcount.net. So yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. You know, we went through a little bit of the tower placement. We checked out the new bonuses, Relic, underpopulation, and keep. Talked about the changes to the pet classes, new speed on casters and healers, a couple of the much needed nerfs to vanish. What else? I mean, I think that pretty much covers it, doesn't it?
I think so. I'm just really excited to see this go live, but definitely before it does, I would love to get a bunch of folks out here and especially get these new caster abilities at each other and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so yeah, if anybody's interested in checking that out, talk to your friends. Let's get some people together. Test these changes before they go live. They've been on Pendragon since Thursday. I've actually been I've been pleased with the amount of posts and things that I've seen coming out of people. You know, it seems there always is like a small group of people that are really committed to testing. Our dungeon's getting a loot table update. Actually, interesting you brought that up. That's something we forgot to touch on. The new instance inside of
Oh,
AM,
that's
the
right.
underground keep. So that's something that they're doing that I completely forgot about. Let's run over there. I can. Do you know who owns it? Is it Hibbs?
I think it's neutral. I didn't look.
I don't have I don't have any upgraded updated maps, unfortunately. My Realmar map is the only one. So what they're doing is they're adding an instance to the underground keep in EV that is going to be not quite as challenging as the King's instance, if anybody was here for the event during October, but is going to be doable with a group of players. Let's see here. Yep, they're aggressive towards me. Okay, so anyway, I can't go inside to show you, or at least I don't have the patience for it. But it's going to give you Chapter 10 credit, and it's going to give you, I think it's going to have a chance to drop otherworldly loot in general. So that's really cool. I know a huge complaint coming out of people was that, a lot of people had never been on a successful Chapter 10 raid because every time word gets out that someone's throwing one together, somebody comes and bombs it. Um, so I know a lot of people that have actually never even finished Chapter 10. They get frustrated, then they just go
Really?
buy it on housing. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. It's
People
fun if
play
I can group it.
during off-peak hours. They
Yeah,
can't get that. Um,
that Zerg up.
exactly, exactly. So, a well-played bomb group can come in there and just wipe everybody, and there's nothing to do about it. That mob is so tough when you don't have 40 people. But they are leaving the actual Chapter 10 encounter intact. So, that
So you have a
that
choice.
big group, that big PvE, exactly, still going to be able to be done. Um, but yeah, for those that don't have that option, they're also adding this instance. And I believe it's only able to be used if you own the keep. So if your realm owns the keep, you can do it. But if the keep is neutral, if somebody else owns it, you can't mess with it. So after
So many
that,
changes.
right? Exactly. I think a lot of them are really good. A lot of basic changes I think that are sort of flying under the radar in places like the forums and region chat. Just in terms of like little mundane things like tower placements, and things like that. I think are going to end up making a pretty big difference in just the flow of RVR combat. So I'm really excited to see what happens there. I hope that I'm correct in that. Um, Hopefully, we've drawn a little bit of attention to those things that might have gone unnoticed next to huge magnanimous changes like Necromancer, pets, and all that. A solo instance. No, it is not a solo instance. It's meant to be done with a full group of players. So 8-man. I think very similar but not quite as hard to uh, the event instance dungeon that was up during October. And so anyway, I think that's about it. Did you have anything else, Pent?
No, just thanks everybody who came to listen tonight and looking forward to the new changes. Every patch they do is something new and different that just keeps the game that more vibrant, and I'm excited about this one.
Yep, I am as well. All right, yeah. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. This will be up on YouTube hopefully tomorrow. In case you tuned in late, you can catch the cast in its entirety. Um, but yeah, man, I'll see you guys in game. All right, take care.
Take care.